Hi there, my name is Martinez-McGraw. This is my internal and external publics at Paragon Learning Center assignment. So some internal communication for the School District 60 are the school board, the superintendent, district level admin, building level admin, faculty, and students. So our school board has 5 members. That way it's a odd number for votes. I believe they meet once every 2 weeks, one in a public session and the other in kind of a private session. Our superintendent, and we also have an assistant superintendent, but our superintendent kind of answers, you know, um, to the school board and all that kind of stuff. We also have district level admins. We have like director of secondary education, elementary education, special education, athletics. We have a lot of district level administration within our school district. And then our building level admins, so like our principals, our assistant principals, deans, anything like that. And then, of course, our faculty, and most importantly, our students. So, some of the external communication of Pueblo School District 60, obviously, the community members, taxpayers, any outside agencies, businesses, local businesses, PTOs, local elected officials, and parents. So, we do have an okay community involvement. We're pretty tough because we are the alternative high school of our school district, and we have one of our main high schools 2 blocks away. So we share kind of the same community. So therefore, we don't get as much community involvement as we would like or we could possibly have, just due to our location and kind of our setting of our school. So a lot of outside agencies, especially personally working with special education students, we always see legal agencies, GAL, guardian ad litems, caseworkers, a lot of different of those agencies that represent the families of the students. I don't think they see that as much inside of general education as we do in special education. But those are a lot of the people we communicate outside of the district. Local businesses, so that has kind of been kind of slowed down due to COVID, but we're kind of ramping that back up. Right before COVID, we had a lot of our students connected in a local HVAC business that were offering apprenticeships to kind of learn plumbing and heating and air conditioning. So we had about 7 or 8 students involved in that, and they offered paid apprenticeships. Like I mentioned earlier, our school is an alternative high school, so it was cool because that company's owner actually graduated with a GED, didn't finish high school. So to kind of hear that story, definitely related to the students that we have. Our PTO, we don't really have a big PTO, as we don't have a lot of parent involvement. So we kind of have 3 or 4 parents that sit on a school advisory committee, is what we call them, that kind of put their say in and are able to kind of explain anything that they see from the outside. Local elected officials, we've actually had 2 of our county commissioners speak at our graduation the last few years, so we do get that involvement. And then obviously the parents. Parents do have a voice. We don't have a ton of that involvement, but we are definitely working on that. Just to kind of put in perspective, this is my 9th year, and we're on my 5th different principal, so it's kind of hard to get something established as much as we would like. So it's oftentimes kind of spinning circles, but we will hopefully get it figured out. We've had the same principal now for this is the 4th year. So the types of communication that we definitely use are our email. That's our main communication within our school district. Our Google Calendar, that's kind of our Bible, I guess you would say. We use that for meetings, scheduling. Our Google Meets links through that, especially at special education. We have meetings all the time and multiple meetings a day, and it's just more meetings than it is actually working with the students at times. Phones, we all have landlines. Since we are the alternative high school and we're kind of on an online high school as well, we're fortunate enough to get our own district cell phones. So most of the teachers at our building do have district cell phones, which I'm not a huge fan of. I just feel like it's more responsibility, but we also have landlines within our classrooms and our offices. And then within our school, we definitely have radios. A good majority of every classroom has it, and then every kind of um, single staff worker like our counselor, myself, our student engagement coordinator, people like that have a radio that we definitely use within our school. So value, extend, prove. Our school and district, I think, does a great job overall um, with internal and external communication. We actually have a director of communications within our district, and they definitely utilize all calls and an emailing system. Sometimes it's almost as if they over communicate. I've gotten to the point where I've had to block our district's numbers at time because they always are adopting curriculum that they want to share with us, which isn't really applicable to us half the time because a lot of it is elementary education. But um, I guess it's better to be over communicative than under. So at our school, we use phones, emails, Google Calendar, radios as primary ways of communication. As a district, they use phones, email, social media, and mass messaging. As a district and school, we do great at communicating and engaging our community members. I feel like we always have different community involvement and community events that happen within our district and a lot of support. As I mentioned earlier, that it did slow down when COVID hit, but we are rebuilding our community partnerships and things are starting to really build back up. That ultimately helps our students. And then as a district and school, I think we get a little bit better with parent engagement. Most of our families are not involved. We have about 500 students at our school. I think it's 483 if I'm not mistaken, but we will definitely get enrollment throughout the year for students that transfer in, and maybe 5 or 10 of those are actively engaged when we have family engagement activities. We'll have Title One night, family engagement night. We'll have a lot of different things that parent teacher conferences that parents just don't come to, um, and I think a lot of it is the kind of population of students that we do have and the hardships they face. I think the main weakness that we have and that we need to figure out is communicate with more families. As I mentioned before, I believe that our community involvement and engagement is strong, especially now that COVID has kind of died down. At the end of the day, the most important part of our jobs is to serve students. We do, we have to do whatever it takes as educators in order to make sure that the students are getting services that they need in order to succeed. So whatever that may be, as educators, we know that we make sacrifices day in day out. We just definitely need to keep the students in perspective, and I think that's what we do a good job of within our school. So even without the parent engagement, I think we kind of overcome that, and we have a good culture at our school that make a lot of our students want to be there. We have a ton of students that come in all the time, every day, um, when they're not actually supposed to be there. As I said, we are an online based high school, so students aren't. We don't have like a bell to bell schedule, but we do have students that always come in all the time. So I just think building a good culture, building a good that getting that stigma will ultimately drive your population. When we first started at this school, we had a population of I think 85 students, and now we're at about almost 500. So we are growing. We're getting that word of mouth out, and yeah, I think that we do a great job at putting students first. And here are my references. Thank you guys for listening to my presentation, and I hope you guys all have a good Thanksgiving.